Hello, everyone. Good day. My name is Reese from Millennials. So today I'm very excited to welcome our special guest all the way from Accra, Ghana. And it's about 8 hours behind the Philippines. So she's a very passionate Gen Z PCOS advocate. So who turned her personal journey into a mission to educate and empower women. So she was diagnosed in 2021. She combines her biological sciences background and public health experience to help others understand PCOS, break misconceptions, and take control of their health. So, through her advocacy, media work, and community project, she's helping the world to see PCOS not just for everyone or personal struggles, but a global health conversation. So, her message today, from science to service for every woman's purpose, so truly reflects her heart and purpose. So, please help me welcome Adwoa Agyeiwaa Ankomah. Hello. Hi,
Hi.
Adwoa.
Hi,
How are you
Reese.
today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing great.
That's good.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, this is the second time because I got
Right.
one from the last time. So hopefully you
Yeah.
would be able to, check on that in our Spotify and YouTube. So that is also available. So right now, so send your welcome in regards to everyone. So Adwoha, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Adwoa Agyeiwaa Ankomah. So if you're finding it difficult to pronounce my name, you can just say AJ. AJ. And I'm from Accra, Ghana, just as Reese introduced me. A passionate polycystic ovarian syndrome PCOS advocate, and I've been spreading awareness since when I first got diagnosed in 2021. But I officially started that advocacy online, offline in 2024. So we are on it. It's not been easy, but we have the drive to drive the advocacy. We want to create awareness about the condition. We want women affected with the condition to feel free, share their struggles, open up so that they get the help that they need. And that has been it. And I'm here with Risa. She's also a very passionate PCOS millennial advocate. And it was my first time when I met her for the first time. It was actually the first time having a conversation with a millennial with a condition, and it kind of felt different because my previous collaborators are all Gen Zs like me. So it was great speaking with Reese, and it was kind of interesting to know that we shared the same sentiments when it comes to PCOS and advocacy as a whole. And even with the difference in our background, difference in our geographical locations, it was interesting and heartbreaking to find out that we are going through the same struggles trying to create awareness about the condition. So I'm very glad that I'm here. I'm very grateful to Reese. She's doing amazing with PCOS Millennials on LinkedIn everywhere.
Thank you.
And yes, I'm glad to be working with her to empower women, especially women affected with PCOS. I know that we are going to use this opportunity to spread awareness worldwide. It's not just limited to Asia, not just limited to Accra, Ghana, not Africa, worldwide, Europe, and everywhere. I know we are going to break bounds and get everywhere. Yes.
Right. So, Adwa, AJ. So,
Yeah.
we're so excited to finally sit down with you. You've been such an inspiration in the PCAS community. So, not just in Ghana, but to women around the world. So, thank you for being with us today. So, let's begin. So, I have some questions for you. So, I'd love to take our listeners to back to the very beginning of your journey. So, my first question is, so, can you take us back when you first noticed something was different with your health that led your PCOS diagnosis back in 2021?
Okay. So in 2021, it was post COVID, right? And a lot of people were going through the effects that COVID threw on us. So I got a cessation in my period. There was absence in my period, and I had to go to the hospital because I hadn't done anything that could contribute to that. So I knew I had to see the gynae. But prior to 2021, I had suspected I had PCOS because I had this unusual acne, cystic, quite unusual, very dominant on the sides of my face. And at a point, it spread everywhere on my face. It wasn't a good thing to look at. I went through hell. I struggled with it. And I was also experiencing weight fluctuations. I was
Mhm.
also going through mental health issues. I wasn't really stable. And I had to read online to find the solution to my acne because I had tried a lot of regimen and none seemed to work. So I read online. I had to dig and dig. That was 2017. I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but that was 2017. I had to dig and dig before I came across something related to PCOS. It was a publication, and it's scared me to find out that I had a lot in common. The symptoms that were mentioned, I had a lot of them, and I suspected I had it. So I spoke to one of my sisters about it, and she told me not to, think
Mhm.
that far, not to read too much meaning into that.
Yeah.
So I relaxed, and after 2 years, I got help by um by a dermatologist. So a dermatologist helped
Yeah.
me control the acne, and it was quite okay. I was still having problems with, maintaining my weight and other issues. So my period before 2021, my period was irregular. I had irregular periods. I used to have very heavy periods, and I couldn't tell the time that I was going to see my period. So it was also irregular until I got the diagnosis in 2021. After I got my periods, I wasn't seeing my periods at all. So I had to go to the first. I thought it was a COVID, post COVID thing. And then I thought that I had to go to the hospital because I know about science and I know about the implications that could happen if I'm not seeing my periods. So that was what led me to going to the gynae's office.
Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing
You're
that so
welcome.
openly. So it's not easy to go back to
Right,
that moment, and I
right,
appreciate your courage because most of us, I know it's not easy to look back on that season, and a lot of women even here in the Philippines go through the same confusion before finally getting answered.
right.
So how did the diagnosis change your understanding about your own body and health?
Hmm. So honestly, I when I first got diagnosed, I had already read enough about PCOS. So the change that happened was I had to, be intentional about my health, and I thought that women's health was really under researched because we have to go to I had previously, I didn't mention this, but I had previously gone to the hospital in 2018, 2019 with the acne problem and with the period problem, but I took another issue to the hospital. So the doctor I saw was a general physician, and his concern was on the other condition that I took to the hospital. So when I got the diagnosis in 2021, I thought about how women's health sometimes isn't really prioritized, especially when it comes to reproductive health. So I saw that it was under researched, and if the question is about how I started, um, viewing my body, I want to get a question again. How I started viewing my body, was that the question?
Yeah.
So
How, I mean, that's your understanding with your own body and health. So how it changed you.
right. So it changed me in the sense that I had to be intentional about my health. I had to
Mm-hmm.
listen to, my body. I had to be cool. I had to be calm with my body. It wasn't something that I had to, do it with rigorous efforts. I had to be calm.
Mm-hmm.
I had to give myself some grace. So I started looking at that. I started being calm with myself, but being intentional about being healthy. So I started taking things into my own hands. Now I have
Yeah,
to research and, take care of myself, my diet, managing physical activity and all that. So
I
that
see.
was what, yes.
So actually, that is such a powerful way to look at it. It takes strength to
Right.
turn pain into understanding instead of
Right.
shame.
Right.
So that's really honest and I appreciate it. And many of us grew up not fully understand that our own body, and sometimes we even blame ourselves,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
what you said bring comfort and clarity to of women listening
Right.
right now and watching. So
Right.
right now, so you have a strong background in biological sciences, what I've seen
Yeah.
in LinkedIn, and a
LinkedIn.
public health. Yeah. So how
Yeah.
did the scientific foundation influence your approach to, PCOS advocacy?
Right. So, because of my biological sciences background, I knew that whenever I had to, put content out there, I had to do my background research because I wouldn't want someone saying that, is this really coming from someone with a biological sciences background?
Yeah.
Is this really coming from someone who has worked in the public health space? So
Yeah.
I approached it in an evidence-based perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll do research, nights of research, read a lot of publications before I come out with any content. I wouldn't want to contradict myself. So sometimes when I'm even making new content, I go through my post to see that if anything is contradictory, and if there's a chance for me to make a correction about something I have said previously, I don't hesitate to do that. But the science background has helped me to make my my checks before I put things out there. And the public health background has made me, you know, it has shaped me to create more awareness because I was working in public health. We were creating awareness, we were empowering people to take their own health into their own hands. So that was where I got all this experience of sharing my the content I share, how
Yeah.
to empower people. Yes, and then the biological sciences background also gave me the approach to you know
Mm-hmm.
evidence. So putting things
Yeah.
out there, researching before you put things out there. So the evidence-based perspective, yes, was what the biological sciences background inspired.
Right. So I
Yeah.
really love how you connected science with personal experience, and it
Right.
really makes your advocacy even more
Yeah.
impactful and
Right.
credible. So
Right.
I love how you're able to connect science with real life stories as what you have. And
Yes.
then, actually, here in the Philippines, we also deal with lots of myths about
Right.
PCOS.
Right.
So hearing someone who understands both the science and the heart behind it, it really matters to
Right.
everyone.
It does.
So yeah, right now your advocacy tagline. Actually, I created it.
You created it,
Right? Yeah,
yeah.
I created it,
And I
but
loved it.
and yeah, I really seen that this tagline really sits you. So from science to service for every woman's purpose. So
Yes.
is very powerful. So
Yes.
can you tell us why you love it and what it means to you and how it guides your work?
So from science to service,
Yeah.
um when you have usually when you have the knowledge to speak on something, people listen to you. So acquiring the knowledge in science to talk about PCOS, to talk about women's health, the dream is big to broaden it and talk about women's health. But so the belief that there is science and there is commitment to women's health. I'm committed to talking about women's health is what I think brought about this your tagline, and it's a unique tagline. It's guiding me in my journey of advocacy, and
Mm-hmm.
yes, so far that's yeah. And it's also beyond my diagnosis, or I have the condition myself, but I want to empower women, other women with the condition, and other women who don't even know that they have the condition at all. So I don't know if I'm answering your question rightly, but yeah.
Yeah, but actually, that's beautiful and deeply meaningful. That's why I gave that tagline
Yes,
to
yes,
you,
it's good.
because
I like.
you're not just giving purpose to it. So I mean, you describe your work, you're just sharing information, and you're choosing to serve women with it.
Yeah.
So actually, in our culture, we call that may puso at malasakit. When we say that, or in English, with
Mm.
heart and compassion. So I see
Oh,
that in the way you speak. So
wow. Thank
that's
you.
really nice. So
Wow.
with that, so what inspired you to start speaking publicly about PCOS, and how
Yeah.
has the response been been from women in Ghana and beyond?
Okay, so what actually inspired me was when I got diagnosed in 2021,
Mm-hmm.
there was a little awareness, right? Why am I saying this? So after I got diagnosed, I started talking about the condition organically. It wasn't forced. If you know me, if you know me personally, you know how sometimes I'm stingy when it comes to information about myself. I don't want to talk a lot about myself and things I'm going through. But when it comes to PCOS, I do it organically. I do it, you know, naturally. So when I
Mm-hmm.
got diagnosed, right, when I got diagnosed, I told the people I was working with, I was working in an organization, then I was serving
Mm-hmm.
the country. So after in Ghana, after your tertiary education, you have a year to serve the country in an organization. So I was doing that, and I was working with public health experts, I was working with healthcare professionals. So I mentioned that I had been diagnosed with PCOS, and I was surprised to learn that not a lot of them knew about what PCOS was.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw the awareness was really low. And aside that, I told my friends, I mean, I was the first to mention PCOS to a lot of people. So I saw the
Wow.
awareness was really low. And then with those who knew about the condition, they had synonymized it with infertility.
Yeah.
So I saw that the myths were out there. I was like, you don't know about the condition, but you know that, if somebody has the condition, all that they're going to go through is infertility. So I saw that I had work to do. And that was what inspired me to start advocacy, because the myths were out there, awareness was low. Even up to date, awareness is still low. It's better, but it's not encouraging, because those
Mm-hmm.
who even know about it are not really open to talking about it. There's this stigma with women talking about their health, their reproductive health. I don't know where it's coming from, but yeah, I saw that that was an issue, and I wanted to change that. So
Yeah.
infertility, and they didn't know about it, and also not just infertility. So some also thought that if you have PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
you are the problem, so it is your fault, it is your cause. You it's punitive,
Yes.
right? You are paying a penance for your sins. And I knew it wasn't so, because I'm one of the most healthiest people that you would ever come across. I live a very healthy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Relatively, my family, they give me the accolades. I live a healthier lifestyle than them, but unfortunately, I'm the one with PCOS. So I saw that people also had the thoughts that and the assumptions that PCOS was, punitive, and I knew that I had to do something about it. I see it online on Twitter, X, formerly Twitter. I see it there.
Yeah.
I see a lot of them. So I knew that I had work to do. So yeah.
Yeah, like what we have talk about before this collaboration or podcast
Right.
that we have. So long as you're walking and it's not cancerous, they do not care about it. So thank you
Right.
so much for using your voice. So especially when silence would have been easier. So
Right.
many women feel seen because of you, because
Yeah.
of us, because of
Yeah.
our voice. So
Yeah.
being brave enough to speak up. So, in places like Ghana and even here in the Philippines, talking about hormones, fertility, or women's pain is still uncomfortable for many people or for many places.
Yeah.
So, our voice really helps break that silence.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. So, what are the some biggest misconception about PCOS that you've encountered, especially in African community or in Ghana
Okay.
specifically? Yeah.
Okay. So the biggest should be the infertility, because the moment you mentioned PCOS, you are being asked, you're not going to give birth. Oh, I'm so sorry. Something they are, sympathizing with you. They're like, I'm so sorry, you're not going to give birth. So the biggest myth is the way they've synonymized PCOS,
Mm-hmm.
with infertility. And some should think it's spiritual. It's an African community, and we relate reproductive conditions, not just reproductive conditions, but a lot of conditions, health conditions, with spirituality. And so some would definitely think that it's spiritual. It's spiritual. It's not normal, because why are you going through this as a woman? Why are you not seeing your periods at all? Why are you going through infertility? Why are you going through acne? Yes, even with the acne, I got that comment, right? I got it from a couple of people that it may be spiritual. Like, have I wronged somebody? Have I prayed enough? Am I doing something wrongly? What is going
Mm-hmm.
on? So yeah, so some too think that it could be spiritual. So not just you not taking good care of yourself. Some assume that it's spiritual. Some assume that you are not going to ever give birth. The spiritual
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, you know, a broader part of it. But the myths associated, something that if you have PCOS, you're not going to give birth. That is the the most diabolical myth that the most diabolical myth.
Yes.
And it's not just in Ghana, it's everywhere. It's everywhere.
True.
I see it on TikTok when women with PCOS post that they gave birth, they have kids. People are amazed that women with PCOS can, give birth. And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we should learn more about the condition. PCOS doesn't mean that you are infertile. PCOS doesn't mean that you are not capable. PCOS doesn't mean that you are you can't have control over your health.
Yeah.
PCOS is about that. Yeah.
I'm really glad that you brought that up. So these beliefs are so common, so
Right.
yet really challenged. So thank you for shedding light on it. And misconceptions like those exist in many parts of the world, and they make women feel misunderstood. So
Right.
or dismissed.
Right.
So appreciate how you're really helping break those beliefs, especially in your place in Ghana, and
Yeah.
creating a space for accurate information and real stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you think public health system can better support women with PCOS?
Hmm. So it's high time. It's high time. It's been long overdue. I think that when I look at research, how other conditions are being funded, I think it's no way. PCOS is just, we are nowhere close to other conditions affecting women. For example, breast cancer. Not to look down on how serious and how poignant breast cancer is, but I think PCOS is equally, serious. It's equally poignant. So it's high time, researchers, people with authority, make things easier for women with PCOS, women talking about PCOS. Research has to be funded. There should be more people researching on PCOS, because it's still a syndrome. So we don't really understand, the
Mm-hmm.
entirety of it. So public health has to, everyone from all forces, there has to be enough collaboration, enough funding to push the research of public health. And then also, when it comes to managing the condition, sometimes when you're talking about how you are going through it, people are giving you, they're giving their 2 cents about how you can manage the condition, but sometimes they forget that it's all about, money you have to invest. When I was Reese, at our first meeting, we were talking about how, economically draining the condition is. So I think there should be policies put in place to make the management affordable. If you have to see the gynae, you have to pay. If you have to buy supplements, you have to pay. If you have to be on a diet, you have to pay. And the amount is no joke. The money that we are putting into the,
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's no joke. It's no joke. I get people reaching out to me sometimes, and I really wish I could offer my help financially, because talking to them alone is not enough. Just yesterday, I was
Mm-hmm.
talking to someone, and I felt that it's really time. It's time for, public health, the public health industry as a whole, to do something about this. Because if you want to empower women, if you want to see the betterment of the woman, we should start from there, because PCOS affects 1 in 10 women. So imagine one out of a group of just 10 women, going through all these symptoms and not having what it takes to manage the condition. Imagine the toll that it's going to have on the community, the women community, and entirely the world as a whole. So it's high time research, more funding is pushed into the research of PCOS. It's high time policies are put in place. The other time when I spoke to you, we were talking about subsidies, and I'm with you on that. It's high time that these things that we are taking to manage our condition, the supplements and all that, it's high time the prices, went down for some of us to have the ability to be able to afford them, because it is not easy. It is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Some are ready to take their health into their own hands. Some are ready to manage the condition, but they don't have what it takes financially. They don't have what it takes. So it's high time that, and awareness too. So we have to talk about the condition a lot. I made reference with breast cancer earlier, and again, not to look down on how poignant breast cancer is, but PCOS is equally poignant, as I mentioned, because we have women going through menstrual issues. So it's a combination of your endocrine system being compromised, your reproductive system being compromised, your metabolic system being compromised. So from head to toe, you are going through it. If it's not acne, it's your mental health. If it's not your mental health, it's your periods. If it's not your periods, your weight, So, and there are lots of lifestyle conditions that PCOS, makes women who are suffering from it, susceptible. So if you have PCOS, it's like you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. If you don't take your health into your own hands, diabetes may catch up with you later, hypertension, and sometimes
Right.
even the cancer, cervical cancer, and all those other lifestyle, these chronic conditions. So it's not just about how they see it as mere PCOS. It's about all these other conditions. So are we going to sit down and wait for all these things to catch up with women? 1 in 10 women. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
lot of women, right? It's a
It's a,
lot of it's I mean, so it's even underdiagnosed. So it's not just
yes.
research is still ongoing, and we may even find out that it's one. I saw that it was 1 in 8 women, according to the Australian research.
Mm-hmm.
So as time goes on, it may even be more, and we don't even know if it's just our diet or if just our genes that are predisposing us to the condition.
Mm-hmm.
I recently made a post on how the environment also, makes us, yes, susceptible to PCOS. I read about that, and there's been research
Yeah.
about that. There should be more research, because I see that some of the items that we use every day are, they are contributing to our hormones getting disrupted. I read about how, the thermal receipt that we get whenever we do shopping in these
Mm-hmm.
supermarkets. Yes. You know how unassuming it looks like. It looks so harmless, but research has proven that it has hormone disruptors. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Just holding the thermal receipt, you may be opening up yourself to your hormones getting disrupted, and all these things. So it's high
Yes.
time. It's high time forces got joined, awareness. It has
So
to. Yeah, yeah,
it is.
yeah,
So
yeah,
actually, that's such a thoughtful perspective. So it
yeah,
reminds us that caring women with PCOS, it's not just clinical. So it's
yeah,
about dignity, support, and being heard. And completely
yeah.
agree with your point. I agree with that.
Thank you.
So women don't just need medication, right? So
Right.
we need understanding, emotional support, and a system that truly listen
Yes.
to us. So
Yes.
it's a reminder that the proper care involves both medical attention and human compassion. So
Right.
with you, so can you share a moment or story from your advocacy work that remind you why this mission is so important? So I know that you have already mentioned to me a lot of things about your advocacy in your place, but what is there's a moment where there be a moment or story it
Yeah.
always remind you about this mission.
Yes. So due to recency bias, I'll remember one that happened recently. So I had the opportunity to, speak at an event, and there were medical personnel talking about PCOS from their own, perspectives. And I was there to talk about how I've been advocating and my experience so far with the condition. And are you there? Okay, you're here. Okay. Sorry. So, yes. So I had the opportunity to counter a point that one of the medical personnel made. So that medical personnel mentioned that PCOS was just a lifestyle condition, right? It wasn't triggering because I had heard worse, but I was thinking about how the other person is going to view PCOS. There were people hearing PCOS in the first time. It was their first time hearing about PCOS. So when I got the opportunity to get on stage and do my presentation, I had to counter what she had said. So that moment, I thought it was liberating for women with PCOS. It was liberating. It was life saving for people who didn't know much about PCOS. Because if you are sending this information out there, how are you expecting people without the condition to even view people with the condition? They may think that we are not taking good care of ourselves, and that is what is bringing all the side effects. I'll put it that way. Yes. So when I got the opportunity to do that, it was not just for women with PCOS. I'm boisterous when it comes to PCOS because I really love women. I love women with PCOS. I care about them. That's why I advocate for them. But it wasn't just them. It was about even the men. Because if there's a man who wants to talk to somebody, who wants to get to know somebody with a condition, with you talking about how PCOS is just a lifestyle condition, you limiting it to just lifestyle, how you kind of condition the people to think that anyone going through PCOS, or it may even go beyond PCOS. It may even be some other reproductive conditions that affects women. Then they start to view it in a different light. So when I got the opportunity to counter her, to counter the person, right, it was liberating, and I knew it was life saving as well, because I had saved lives. Technically, I had put the truth in people's minds. If they cared to do more research, they would know that what I said was true. So I told them that PCOS had a genetic factor, just that it wasn't just one single gene that was, causing PCOS. It was a combination of multiple genes coming into play. So I talked about how, when your genes, you have the high androgens, when you have high insulin, how all those genes come into play to contribute to your diagnosis in PCOS. So that was liberating. I loved that moment, and I felt so fulfilled when I felt so fulfilled when I was able to counter her. It was a great moment for me. Yeah, I can't. Is I talking? I can't hear
Oh yeah,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
there.
you were
So
muted.
actually, that is incredibly
Yeah,
touching.
yeah,
And then that moment, like that shows how life changing this work can be, and that story is
yeah,
truly moving. So
yeah,
it shows how our conversation, one act of kindness, can make a such big difference to someone's
yeah,
life.
yeah,
So moments like that reminds us that why this work or our advocacy is very important.
yeah.
So I just want to know what strategies or lifestyle, changes have helped you personally manage Pica symptoms. So what
Okay,
are the things that you do right now, the food that you eat, something like that?
okay. So I'll start with skincare. Sorry, because skincare. So acne was my most obvious symptom, because I wasn't talking about the others. I wasn't talking about the irregular periods and my weight. Naturally petite, so whenever I spoke about weight issues, people didn't really understand. So I'll start with skincare. So with skincare, I've been very religious when it comes to having a skincare routine. People may not have the money to afford skincare products. So I'll tell them to, you know, start with the fundamentals. They can wash their face, make sure that they are keeping their pillowcases clean. Personally, I do skincare. I make sure that I keep my pillowcases clean when it comes to having a good skincare. It's manageable. I'm not there, but I'm managing the skin right now. When it comes to my diet, I do a lot because there's a lot I don't eat. And even before I got diagnosed with PCOS, I wasn't eating a lot of things. So I wasn't eating, the junk foods. I wasn't eating, the highly processed, ultra processed foods. You will not get me. You will not get me there. I
Yes,
don't eat. I don't eat
got
them.
that.
Right. But my problem, so I'm a rice lover. I love rice. I'll choose
Me
rice.
too.
Uh makes us twins. So yeah, I'll choose rice anytime, any day. So it was rice for me, and I had to reduce my rice intake because if you're talking about reduction in carbs, rice is also included. And I had to stay,
Yeah.
yeah. I had to stay truthful to myself. I'm talking about PCOS, I'm talking about diets, and I'm there eating a lot of rice, right? I could eat rice. So
Yeah.
when I talk about a lot of rice, it's that serious because I could eat rice every day in the week, and even I could eat it 3 times a day. It was that serious, right? So I had
Yes, definitely.
right.
Even here in the Philippines, rice is a snack or a midnight,
Ah,
you know,
I
midnight
see.
snack.
I
Yeah.
see. Right. So I had to reduce that. And so I reduced that. I don't eat processed sugar at all. I stay away from
Mm-hmm.
these drinks, soft drinks. I don't take them at all.
Yeah.
Even fruits, I limit my intake, my fruit intake, because some fruits have high, sugar levels. So I don't eat
Yes.
fruits a lot. Yes. And I've incorporated a lot of vegetables and proteins in my diet. I was already an egg lover. Now I eat egg like crazy. I eat egg a lot. So I eat much, yeah,
Yeah.
more protein.
Protein.
Yes,
Yeah.
I eat more protein. I've not cut out carbs at all because I think it's not sustainable. I see a lot of people doing that. They don't
Mm-hmm.
eat carbs. I don't think it's sustainable. And even research shows that it's not that healthy. We must have some components of carbohydrates
Yeah.
in our diet, right? So I have reduced my carb intake, but I'm high on proteins. I'm high on vegetables. Um, I'm high on fiber, and also I don't know if it would work for people, but I try to eat twice a day because it's PCOS. My hormones are acting differently. It's not acting like the other woman without PCOS. So if I eat 3 times a day and I'm not careful, you may think that I have it now.
Yeah.
Because I will gain weight. I will
You know,
gain weight. Yes,
yeah.
I'll gain. So
So actually, I really appreciate how honest you are about your
right,
personal
right,
journey. So
right,
actually, it
right.
gives others, permission to take care of themselves without,
Yes,
without guilt. And thank you for being so open about your own
right,
journey. So
right,
it helps
right,
other women to feel isolated and more understood. And you're
right,
right. There's
right.
no perfect formula for managing PCOS. So
No,
just consistent choices to care for yourself and the best way you can, like what you did.
right.
So right now, looking ahead, what's your vision for PCOS awareness in Ghana and globally? And what message would you like to leave for young women like you, which is a Gen Z PCOS advocate, who are just beginning their PCOS journey?
Okay, so the dream is a big one. So we want to, when I talk about we, I'm talking about myself, but because the dream is big, I see, a lot of people joining in at a time. Yeah. So I see that I have a dream of, making PCOS widely known in Ghana. I have a dream of taking it to the schools. So I didn't get the chance to talk about how sometimes the system stifles us. Because when you want to go to the school, sometimes you have to go through a lot of processes before you even get the opportunity to speak to students, right? There are a lot of protocols involved. So I want to get opportunity to spread awareness in schools because I think that women, when young girls are growing up at that points of time in their lives, like when they're 15, 16, they experience a lot of changes when it comes to their reproductive life. And they don't open up to people. Some think that, not think, some have actually experienced stigma from people whenever they open they opened up about their health, their reproductive health. So I want to take it to that level to spread awareness. I want it to get to a point that during September or any other month, PCOS would be celebrated just as breast cancer is. So there's a lot going on right now. It's October, and I see a lot of breast cancer awareness posts, a lot of breast cancer awareness banners, programs organized for breast cancer. So I want us to get to that point. I want us to get to that point in Ghana. A lot of people coming into, you know, coming together to talk about PCOS, not just people, but we want the medical personnel to get involved. They are trying. I see them trying. They are doing a lot. There's an improvement, right, as compared to the previous years. But we need more work. We need to do more work. And worldwide too, I talked about research and about how research is low when it comes to PCOS, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about PCOS. I want us to talk about PCOS just as you are doing amazing work in Philippines and all over the world. I want us to touch lives, touch women's life, not just women. Adding our voices to public health is adding, giving our experiences out, sharing our experiences about how we are adding our voices and how we are adding resources and substance to research. Because when we talk about our health, when we advocate for people, people talk about their health. Public health researchers get substance from us. They get our experience and they're able to build research from there. So I wanted to get to the point that I see a whole funding that is, made toward the getting more knowledge, understanding PCOS, and even understanding the management of PCOS, and also about the policies that will be put in place to make managing PCOS easier and more affordable, more accessible. When I talked to you the other time, I talked about how it's difficult for me to get that
Yeah.
inositol brand that was the cheapest in town right now. It's
Yeah.
not accessible, it's not affordable, and I want us to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's about women, and again and again, for the 100th time, 1 in 10 women have PCOS. So it's not just
and
about
and a lot of us still
a lot, a
undiagnosed.
lot. So it
Yeah,
could
a
be the
lot.
next, right? It could be the next woman sitting beside you in the transport. It could be the next woman you are even buying food from. It could be the next girl you are looking forward to mentoring. It could be anyone going through that situation. So why not empower them? Why not put things in place to support them, to keep them
Yeah.
moving? Because you mentioned that because PCOS is not conscious, people think that we are just making noise, we are over exaggerating, but it is not so. A lot of people are going through it, and for the fear of being judged, they don't want to open up, they don't want to share what they are going through. And you know, also we talked about how there are lifestyle conditions associated with PCOS. Are we really waiting for this to happen? Are we really waiting for the upsurge of people with diabetes, people with hypertension? Are we really waiting for that moment? We have to do something. We have to put in the
Definitely.
effort,
Yeah.
yes, yes, and do something about it to help the, you know, the management of the condition, people affected with the condition. And people should feel free talking about PCOS. It is
Yeah.
not a shame at all. And when we do this, it will affect all the other reproductive conditions and the entirety of public health conditions and all that. So the dream is big. It's not just about PCOS. We want to talk about
Definitely.
women's rights, women's health, and even all the other health conditions that are associated with PCOS. So the dream is big, and
Yeah,
we are going to
actually,
get there.
yeah, we will be. So,
Right,
yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And actually, it's such a hopeful and grounding message. I think so many women listening or watching right now need to hear those words. So, PCOS can feel isolating,
right.
confusing, even scary at times. But the way you speak about the purpose, sisterhood, and resilience reminds us that we're not walking in this journey alone.
Hello.
So
Right,
if yeah,
right,
if
right.
one woman hears and feels a lighter, little braver, then this conversation has already made an impact. So many
Impact.
young women like you, like me, when we were starting, we felt afraid, but right
Yeah,
now, we felt uncertain, but after
exactly.
being diagnosed, so especially when it comes to their future, so their health or motherhood. the infertility,
Yeah.
the diabetes that they could have when they have this kind of, of condition. So what you've shared things so much hope, so even one person listening today feels less alone because of your words, so then this conversation has already made an impact to them.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right.
so
Thank
thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. Thank
So
you.
yeah, so by the way, AJ, so um I always want to thank you, and it's been such a joy and honor to have you here being with me with this collaboration podcast. So your story, your heart for women, and your work, you do truly inspire me, especially because you're very young.
Oh,
You're just 27. Yeah,
yeah.
so young, so good. Yeah.
Almost. I'll be
So
27 next month.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
advance happy
In advance.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you really inspires us, not just in
Oh,
Ghana, but all the way here in the Philippines and beyond. So to everyone who's listening, if you want to keep learning from her, from AJ or for Adwoa, supporting her advocacy, or simply staying updated with her journey, you can catch Adwoa on Facebook. You have Facebook, right?
yeah. I have Facebook.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and across her other social media platforms, and make sure to follow her, and just be part of the movement that she's building. So thank you again,
Thank you so
Adwoha,
much,
so
Reese.
for saying yes, so saying yes for this kind of collaboration. And I am very grateful, and we're excited for more powerful conversation and projects
Anytime.
with you in the
Anytime.
future. So
Anytime.
why not invite them with your LinkedIn account? So
Okay.
yeah, let them
Okay.
know where they can catch you.
Okay, so I do this mainly on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Adwoa Agyeiwaa Ankomah. So same name on LinkedIn. My Twitter, Adwoa Agyeiwaa. So after I post on LinkedIn, I share on Twitter, Adwoa Agyeiwaa, and on Facebook, same Adwoa Agyeiwaa. I'm looking forward to creating accounts on TikTok, and it should have the same name. So Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, same name, but Instagram I mostly share on my stories. I don't share them as main posts. So they can find me there. Yeah.
All right, great. Yeah, thank you so much again,
Thank you.
AJ.
Thank you for
I
having
know
me.
how I can pronounce your name correctly,
You
AJ.
you were doing it rightly. So the Adwoa, you pronounce the Adwoa rightly.
Aja.
Yeah, you it's better, it's fine.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much for being with me in this collaboration podcast with Picas Millennials. So I'm very happy, and that you say yes. You said yes to us today. So yeah, looking forward to work with you, and let's continue our advocacy for this Picas.
Right. Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Anytime.
much.
And I feel so grateful for, hosting me, for being there. You've been there. You've been totally amazing. Sharing my post. You even reached out to me first. And you can imagine the joy when I saw your message. Because I was looking up to you. I had seen your blogs. I had seen your post when I said women doing amazing PCOS stuff actually. You came up. So I was totally glad. I was joyous. You cannot you can imagine how joyous I was when you reached out to me.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much to AJ. And yeah, looking forward to hear you soonest. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching Picas Millennials podcast. So, again, my name is Reese from Picas Millennials, and goodbye, everyone.